Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
In a world where shadows dance and dreams take flight through the veil of reality into the night, Rob McConnell leads the way, a beacon so bright. With over 35 years, he ignites the light. A voice from the north where whispers are bold, stories untold in the echoes of old. Fact meets fiction in this realm of delight, in the X Zone where dark turns to bright. Welcome to the X Zone, believe and be free, a sanctuary for truth that dare to be seen, where the line between realms gently blurs, in a symphony of voices the mind stirs, with Rob McConnell stories unfold, tales of the unknown that shimmer like gold. Every guest a new chapter, with eyes open wide, in this vast tapestry, there's nowhere to hide.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell, and you're listening to us on the CanCom Broadcast Network with our studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And we're streamed around the world by our good friends and local affiliate, Classic 1220 CFAJ AM, on their website and their streaming service at classic1220.ca. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, and on all social media sites, Xzone Radio TV. My guest this hour is June Lundgren, and June is going to be talking to us about negative energy. June is a psychic medium, demon seer, healer, animal communicator, international author, and nurse. She is descended from a long line of women with psychic and spiritual gifts. Raised by her maternal grandmother, she communicated with spirits, animals, and angels. She is called a demon seer because she can actually see, hear, and communicate and remove negative entities. She has been helping people with their paranormal problems and animal issues most of her life. She is a paranormal investigator and consultant specializing in negative identification and removal, and she is a specialist on warrior angels. Her website, mysticconnections.org. And June, welcome back to the X Zone.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
June, for the listeners who may not have had the opportunity of listening to you the last time you were with us, when did you first realize your abilities were different from others?
Well, when my grandmother raised me, and she was a medium and a psychic, and she realized that I could speak to animals almost from the time she, as a baby. And around 4.5 years of age, things changed for me. Before that, I saw negative entities as most humans do, which is, a black mass or smoke or a black figure. But once I turned about 4.5, it changed. I saw them in their true form, which is a lot scarier than anything you can think of. But that was the first time I saw one, and I was, scared. And Michael the Archangel, was always with me, and he came to me and he said, "Listen, I'm going to make it so they cannot see you, but you can see them." He says, "You're seeing the demons through angelic eyes. You're seeing them as we see them in their true form. So," he says, "I want you to watch them, to learn how they work, how they influence people, what they do." And, when you're a kid, you think, oh, it's a game, and I knew that they couldn't hurt me because he wouldn't let them. So until I saw them that way until I was about 18 when I actually had a dealing with my first demonic entity when I was in the Air Force.
Tell us about that.
I was working in the emergency room and we got a call
Now we
about,
have to let the listeners know that you were a nurse in the military.
yeah, I got
Okay.
my nurse's training in the Army, and then
Okay.
I did 2 years in the Army and then changed to the Air Force, re-enlisted in the Air Force. And I was working in the emergency room, and we got a call from one of the tech sergeants on base saying that they had a man that was missing, and they believe he's in his barracks room. And basically, the sergeant didn't want to go in there in case he was dead by himself. So myself and another tech, we went and took the ambulance over there. The sergeant opened the room, and here's this guy just curled up in a ball against the wall, and he wasn't moving. I couldn't even tell if he was breathing at that point. And then I hear a sound, and I look up to the ceiling on the left side of him, and I see a demon up there. And I'm like, oh crap. So I go and I make sure that he's breathing, but his pulse is rapid and thready. So we get him on the gurney and we take him back to the hospital. Yeah, we get him situated in one of the exam rooms and treatment rooms. And then I go to get stuff to start an IV. And when I come back in, the demon is there and it's leaning over him and trying to suck the life force out of his body. And then I heard myself say, as if from a distance, this one's not for you. This one belongs to us. And the demon looked at me, and whatever he saw
Hmm.
scared him, and he left in a hurry. And the poor young man, he was treated, and he was about to go home. And I went up and see him to see how he was doing. And he said, I had the weirdest dream. He said, I had a dream that a demon was trying to take my soul, and that a warrior angel, a female, she stopped him. And I didn't say anything other than, you know what? This just is God's way of telling you he's got your back. The young man was a chaplain's assistant. And what had happened was someone put angel dust in his soda pop
Oh,
at a party. Yeah.
is it common for demons to try and take over humans?
Influence them, yes. Possess them, a lot of people think that that's common. But the thing is, demons will possess someone if they want to influence them or kill them. But for the most part, they will not stay inside the physical body for any length of time. The only time that happens is if there are more than one demon present, because the reason why demons don't want to be trapped in a shell, and that's what they consider our bodies. Our bodies are shells. And they'll go in and cause chaos and then come out again because they don't want to remain in the body for any longer than necessary.
Why not?
There was a war between heaven and hell, and most churches don't know what it was about. But I can tell you exactly what it was about. It was about the fact that we traveled as a group of souls through many galaxies for trillions of years. And it got to a point where, the majority of the souls said, you know what, we're tired of doing this. We've seen everything we can see. We've done everything we can do. We want to be physical again. We want to have physical bodies. And Lucifer rose up with followers of his and said, nah, that's not what we want. We don't want to be subject to a shell. We don't want to be subject to pain, disease, growing old, restricted, not be able to go where and do whatever we want to do. So that's when the war began. And in the end, Michael disarmed Lucifer and Ariel disarmed his son, his second in command. And God said, you cannot live among us. So he opened a rift into a dark realm, and he put Lucifer and all of his followers in there. And so at first they were fine with it. But over the hundreds of thousands of years, they've become angry and bitter and resentful and seeking revenge.
Now, once again, Michael and Ariel are archangels.
Yes, they are a part of the Legion of Light. Legion of Light is like you have God and Jesus, then you have the Legion of Light, and then you have the archangels, the warrior angels, and then the common angels. And the Legion is in charge of all of the other angels, and it's made up of Ariel, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael.
What
And they
happen,
train.
what happens if somebody's religion doesn't include Jesus and it doesn't include angels?
It doesn't really matter because one of the things I learned when I died and went to the other side was that it's the intention. The
Okay.
thought becomes reality, and it's the intention behind the thought that gives it power. And the faith in whatever deity that you worship, whether it's Buddha, it doesn't matter.
So it's all about the intent.
Right. It's all about the intention.
Gotcha. We've got about a minute and a half left. Start telling us about your own near-death experience, or the experience of when you died, and what was that
I,
about?
I was, I had repossessed one of my motorcycles, and I was going over to teach my now husband how to ride a motorcycle. And some woman ran a red light and hit me on my bike because I was making a
Ouch.
turn, and I didn't have a helmet on. So I was clinically dead for a little over 2 minutes. There was a police officer that saw it happen. And I went to the other side, and Michael was there. And he said, "This is who you truly are. Your soul is the soul of Ariel, the archangel. She was sent back to relive human lives to learn to have compassion for mankind." And so it's like, I'm like, okay, because I'd always known I had angelic energy. I just didn't know who it was until then. And they told me my job was to help mankind get rid of demons. So I'm like, here I am.
How many people are there like you on this planet whose prime directive is to get rid of demons?
There are 7 archangels in the world today in physical form, and only 2 of us are demon slayers.
So are you an archangel?
Yes, Ariel. Ariel is my soul is Ariel, the archangel.
What's it feel
That's
like to be an archangel?
It's kind of, I'm used to it. I mean, I've been this way all my life, and people when she comes forward, people see wings coming out of my shoulders, my eyes turn white, my face changes, and my voice changes. Those are the physical manifestations of her.
All right, Joan, stand by. We've got to take a break here. Exonation, June Lundgren is our special guest, mysticconnections.org. And June and I will be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
Voice from the north where whispers are bold, stories untold in the echoes of old. Fact meets fiction in this realm of delight, in the X zone where dark turns to bright. Welcome to the X zone, believe and be free, a sanctuary for truth that dare to be seen, where the line between realms gently blurs, in a symphony of voices the mind stirs, with Rob McConnell stories unfold, tales of the unknown that shimmer like gold. Every guest a new chapter.
In the dark of night, the stars ignite. Whispers from above call for our flight. Shadows in the sky, a shimmer, a spark. Alien wonders lurking in the dark. Flickering lights on the horizon's edge. UFOs gliding, they've crossed the hedge. Strange signals echo and
And welcome back. June Lundgren is our guest this hour, Exonation, mysticconnections.org. What does it feel like being an archangel? Who is
Um,
the angel in your body, or are you in the angel's body?
it's like she's got, when I was young, Michael merged our consciousness. So I can actually see through her eyes. I can hear what she hears, see
Mm-hmm.
what she sees, and feel what she feels. So it's like she's got one leg in the physical world within me, and then one leg on the other side. So I can blink and she's forward, and I can go to the other side with just a thought. So I'm so used to it, I really don't pay attention. It freaks people out when I come to a place in person and I'm doing removals because of what they see. They're not used to seeing somebody transform.
What have members of the clergy said about your dual personality or dual personship?
I have friends that, I have a close friend that's a ordained minister, and then I've had a couple of ministers come to me for help. And the
Now,
thing is,
when you're talking about ministers, are you talking about real ministers, or are you
yeah,
talking about internet ministers?
no, real
Okay.
in-person ones, in-person ones. Um, the thing is, I have no fear of the demons. And, people ask me, aren't you afraid? And I'm like, no. If you fear them, you can't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they can kill you. I've seen them pick up a 300-pound man and throw him down the stairs. So it's like, but they want to be anywhere where I'm not. So a lot of times when somebody sends me a request for help, the activity that they're experiencing will ramp up because they don't want the person to connect with me. They'll keep them from being able to send emails, to make phone calls, or anything else. But it doesn't work because they still get through to me.
Why are these demons allowed to roam the planet and cause this havoc with people if God is all powerful and God can do anything?
He can, but the thing is, the demons are trying to seek revenge. And if you stop and think about it, every physical body has a white light soul within it. So they are out to wreak vengeance on them. So they'll make your life miserable. And, you can be the most devout person in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but, it don't mean anything to the demons
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they got their own set of rules.
I understand that
But
on a personal level, June. But when it
yeah,
comes to God being the Almighty, why doesn't he just say, all right, boom, demons, you're gone? Because if God created everything, he created the demons, and therefore he has power over them or dominion over them. Why doesn't he just get rid of them?
sometimes I asked him that one time. I said, why can't we just, kill them all and be done with it? And he said, there is a balance in the universe, yin and yang, good and bad, he
Mm-hmm.
said. And sometimes these demons will affect a person to test their faith, to see what they can and can't do. And sometimes they do it just for the heck of it, you know. They just the thing is, the old demons, there's a hierarchy in the dark realm. Lucifer in his first, second, and third in command. And then there are the old demons, which are the most intelligent, most powerful demons that there are. And then there are what I call the lesser demons. They're like hormonal teenagers. They're the ones that you're going to see in the physical world causing chaos and destruction. The old demons rarely come into the physical world unless it's to seek revenge or Lucifer sends them for a reason, but we're not worth their time and energy. 99.9% of the time.
So if we're not worth their energy, why do these other demons terrorize humanity when, once again, God
Be-
in all his power has the ability to, just get rid of the demons and then put something else in to replace the void to balance out the power again? It makes no sense to me why this can happen.
Well, like I said, I've asked him, and he said it's all about the balance, and it's all about man having to learn lessons. And we did get rid of all of the ancient demons. We had ancient demons that we got rid of about 3 months ago. But the thing is, the creator is the one who created everything. He created God and the dragons.
Well,
And
hold on here.
demons.
Wait a sec. I thought God was the creator.
Some people think of him as a creator, but there is someone above God.
Who?
Yes, I call him the creator because he created energy beings. He created the dragons. He created God and his siblings, and he created, the souls that we have. Our energies are soul. Our souls are energy beings, and we, we all have individual souls, but we're all connected to God. But the demons were also created by, the creator.
Okay, hold on.
And
You're losing me here because you're going every which way but loose on me.
okay, if you think of the hierarchy, the
No,
creator.
hold on here. I've never read any book or any scripture that has ever in any way insinuated or even hinted at a deity higher than God.
Of course not.
How do we know that this is real and that this is just not a trick that Satan is using to confuse you?
Oh, it's quite simple. I've met him. I've met the creator.
Why would you meet the creator and not other people like myself or
Oh, there are lots of people that have met the creator.
who?
It's just a matter of people being open to it. Like my two friends that are ordained ministers, I told them, I said, listen, you gotta meet the creator. And they set the intention and they met him. Yeah, I say him. It's, not male or female. But it's anybody can meet him if they truly want to. It's just about setting the intention and calling to him.
All right. How does one set the intention?
It's okay. So sit down quietly
Mm-hmm.
and say, my intention is to meet and speak with the creator. Please help me to make the connection. And you will sense him. He has a strong, powerful energy, and it's loving, and it's like God on steroids.
God on steroids. That's a new one.
Yeah, because I've met God when I was on the other side, and I've met the creator. So it's like multiply God's abilities and God's power 1,000 times.
Who created the creator?
He came into existence and sentience because the universe created him.
All right, then who created the universe?
Those who came before. Because I asked him, he said, those who came before me.
And who were those who came before the creator?
That's all he would say. He didn't tell me anything else.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm ready for it yet, ready to know yet. But it's not, I know that it's not Lucifer because I've talked to Lucifer. It ain't Lucifer. I had him come in I was in on I did an exorcism on a woman who had 11 entities.
Mm-hmm.
And I got down to the last removal, the last one, and I told it could go home. And I asked Jesus to come for it. And my friends are standing in front of me, the minister and another friend of mine, and this huge white arm comes out towards the woman who has the demon inside of her. And I told it, I said, you can go home. You can go home to God if you repent. And it looked like it was ready to do that. And then it said, no, no, I can never go home. And so it pulled back into the woman. And I said, so be it. I said, Lucifer, come forth. And both of my friends saw this black entity appear at the end of the hallway and walk towards us. And what they saw was a shadow figure, a black figure with a fedora, double-breasted suit, and spats. I saw it in its true form. And he told the demon, Lucifer told the demon, you need to come out of that woman now. And because it had been hiding from Lucifer, because Lucifer gave it a job to do, and it just didn't bother to do it. So it was in trouble as it was. And it refused to come out. And Lucifer looked at me and said, I know you don't want me to harm the woman, so I will be back for him tonight. So we all left, and we all went home to our separate beds. And then we all woke up at 3 a.m. to hear the Lucifer say, it's done. So I called the woman the next day, and she says, I haven't felt like this in 20 years. She says, I feel empty. I said, go get some treatment. I said, you have to get counseling. I said, you have PTSD badly. And she did.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our break at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation, if you'd like to find out more about our guest this hour, visit her website, mysticconnections.org. This is the X Zone on the CanCon Broadcast Network and streaming on classic1220.ca. I'm Rob McConnell. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Worldly sound in the realms of the cosmos where secrets abound, with every sighting pulses race fast, chasing the truth while shadows are cast. Extraterrestrial dreams invade the night, close encounters that fill us with fright. Alien abduction in the depths of the night, tangled in starlight, take me to the heights, craft from the universe, soaring through the in the twilight's hush, where shadows whisper low, a silver glimmer streaks across the sky, aglow with a haunting melody. The air begins to thrum, an echo of the wonders that from beyond have come. Celestial encounter as the stars align, a tapestry of wonders woven through space and time. From the void of darkness, a chorus sings so bright.
Welcome back, everyone. June, how can somebody tell if they're possessed or if they have been infested by one of Lucifer's little
Buddies.
buddies? Yeah, there's not a good way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, usually it starts out, the thing is, people think, well, if they encounter a demon, it's going to just attach itself right away, and you're going to know it. I mean, just plain and simple. But it's not true. They can watch you for days, weeks, months, even years. I liken them to stalkers because what they want to find out is this person, will we be able to influence this person? What are their weaknesses? What are their strengths? What do they want out of life? And once they realize that the person is weak-willed and their faith is weak, then they attach themselves. And then because you start hearing voices, your health goes downhill, your finances go downhill, your relationships will go downhill because what they want to do is they want to isolate the person so that they have no support system whatsoever. And then they will, the person will hear them. You'll get physical manifestations. They'll move things. They could be attacked. They'll have nightmares. I mean, they'll have all of these things. And the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, they don't hear any of this because the demon don't want them to hear any of it. They only want that person to hear. But if you have animals, the animals can sense the negative entity. They will growl. They won't come anywhere near it.
So how does one get rid of these entities?
There's you have to find somebody. If you're a Catholic, you probably go with the Catholic Church, but then you have to jump through all these loopholes in order to get them to prove that you have something going on before they'll do anything. Or you can go to a deliverance minister. There are those, and then you can go to somebody like me.
All right, so somebody comes to you, they say they're possessed. How do you qualify them as whether they're possessed or if it's just in their minds?
Sometimes it's mental illness, and you have to be able to tell the difference. And if you were to walk up to them, you wouldn't be able to tell whether they have mental illness or if they're just putting you on, but I can see the demon inside of them. I don't care if somebody sends me an email and they say I'm having problems, I think there's a negative entity attached to me. When I connect with the email, I connect with the individual and I can see what's there. I can see the demon. I can see how it found the person. I can see what it's been doing to the person. And I can go into its mind. So that's how I can tell. I mean, I can get a phone call or a letter or an email, and I know right away whether there's something there or not. And if there's not, I'll say, you know what, you're good. It's okay. There's nothing there. But like I said, I have encountered people with mental illness. So
now, when you say you look at the person or you look at their email and you can see the demons, what do the demons look like?
it's kind of funny because an archangel is 7 feet tall, have a 12-foot wingspan, and they're white and silver and gold. And a demon, when you look at it, and an angel has facial features like a human because that's how they present themselves. Now a demon, when you see them, they're about 7 feet tall, 12-foot wingspan, but that's as far as the likeness is. They're shades of gray and black. They have no facial features except the eyes. And the eyes in an old demon or Lucifer are a golden color, like a candle flame. And the eyes in a minion, like a creepy crawly or a shadow person or whatever, they're red. But that alone doesn't make it scary. It's when you look into their eyes and you see every atrocity you could ever imagine. And then some. It's like looking into the eyes of pure evil.
Let me ask you something. You said that you could tell just by if somebody sent you a picture. Could you look at that picture and say whether they're possessed? I have to ask you this: is President Trump possessed?
Nope.
He's not. You mean he's just a total idiot without being any part evil?
No, there's no evil there. Actually, it was about 5 years ago when God came to me and said, because I wasn't a Trump liker in the first place. And God came to me and says, I've changed his heart. I've turned it to the light. He is going to be president again. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then of course he became president. And he's tasked with the job of bringing peace and bringing light.
But he'll never do that. The guy's a warmonger. Well,
No.
God screwed up.
I don't want to debate it because I'm on God's side. So
Well, I am
that's
usually
why.
too. But when somebody tells me that President Trump, who has caused more wars, more grief, more sorrow than any other president in history, is going to bring peace to this planet, I just can't buy that, Joan. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I know. You will when it happens, and then you'll say, "Oh crap, I didn't realize that." But like I
Wow.
said, everything that God has told me has come true. So
There we
I'm
go.
sticking with what He says.
Something new on the X Zone tonight, X Zone Nation. God's a Republican. How about that?
Not really. He's non-party. Hey, we haven't had a true republic since my great uncle Ulysses S. Grant.
I don't know what to say about that. Okay, so why is there so much evil in the world today than at any other time that we're aware of?
I really don't think it's a matter of there's more now than there was 100 years ago. I think it's a case of now we have communication sources.
Okay.
So, it's out there all the time. Back in the days of the telegraph, they didn't have any of that stuff. And all this, look at Jack the Ripper, all that stuff that went on.
Never met him.
And, that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of evil that went on even then. But the thing is, we didn't have the ability to communicate the way we do now between social media, emails, television, that sort of thing. I think it's just more pronounced because we know about it now.
But with all the negativity in the world today, and I'm not saying evil, I'm saying negativity that's being caused. Isn't this opening up the door for evil to walk in and take minion over these people who are being so negative?
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are influenced by negative entities, and there are a lot of people that are negative on their own without any help from the dark ones. And people have to want to change. If they have an agenda or they don't want to change, then they're not going to. That's the thing. You have to be more positive. And I'm not like Mary Sunshine, but you have to have faith that things will turn out well and that God is watching over us. It's like he told me when I wrote my first book. He said, I want you to write a book. He says, and I want you to let people know that I do hear their prayers. I do hear them. He said, I give them what they need, which is not necessarily what they want. And he says, I want you to put that in the book. So I did. But people think they want one thing, and man will always have wars. He's just insatiable, unfortunately.
Well, we have to at times question God's rationality, because as the creator, he's thought of as the creator of humans and everything that is, and that makes him our father image.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and I'll tell you something. I can't see a father destroying and killing as many people that God has. That's not being a parent. That's being a psychopath.
Well, if
Look
we're
at
talking about humans,
Yeah, humans. Look at how many people died in Sodom and Gomorrah. Yes, they were bad. Yes, they were evil. But still, a father, a parent, does not kill a child. And then we've got all the Egyptians that were following the Israelites, and God drowned them all. A father does not drown their child. Talk about child
it's kind
abuse.
of like flooding the earth. You wipe it all out and then you start all over again.
Yeah, well, there's
That's
another.
the way I have to look at it that way. Because it'd be different if we were born once and that was it. You're out of here and you're not coming back again. But the souls come back again if they want to. He doesn't make anybody come back. It's free will. It's up to them whether they come back and what they do with their life.
But is it really free will, or is it marketing by the religious institutions?
There's probably a lot of marketing. Religion is not
Yeah.
is man made. It's not God made.
Which brings something, another question. Did God create man or did man create God?
God created man, and man created religion.
But you can't have a religion without a God.
Well, it's man's way of putting a square peg in a round hole. He's got he's created. There is this this greater consciousness that we call God,
Who
and
isn't the creator, but he was
he is the
created by the
right.
creator, who were created by the ancient ones who
Yeah,
we don't know where the hell they came from.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, it's all about learning lessons. We come down and we live lifetimes,
All
and
right,
we will.
Joan, I hate to interrupt you,
Okay,
but here's a lesson I have to listen to every hour, 4 times an hour from my producer when he says, Rob, we have to take a break.
okay, take it
All
away.
right, stand by. Joan
Okay.
Lundgren is our special guest, Exo Nation. She's a real angel. Her website, mysticconnections.org. And we'll be back as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, on the CanCom Broadcast Network and on your hometown radio, Classic 1220, CFAJ AM, streaming us at classic1220.ca.
The air begins to thrum, an echo of the wonders that from beyond have come. Celestial encounter as the stars align.
Late night signals whisper through the sky. Stories of the unknown drifting by. From shadows deep to stars above. The truth and mystery of what we dream of. From a humble start on AM air, a voice in the night reaching everywhere. St. Catherine's heard that distant tone. Rob McConnell's voice, the X Zone. Through the years, through the miles, through the questions and the trials. Now we're back on 12:20 a.m. Classic sound, it begins again. CFAJ, your hometown radio, where the truth and the strange still flow. From Ontario skies to the great unknown, with Rob McConnell on the X Zone.
Exo Nation, June Lundgren is our special guest. Her website is mysticconnections.org. Quick question for you, June.
Huh?
How come there's no angel by the name of Ariel in the Bible? The only Ariel that is mentioned is another name for Jerusalem.
I don't know, because the Catholic Church has the name of Ariel, the archangel, but they don't consider her worthy of veneration.
You know, if I remember my theology correctly, Ariel also refers to as of the line of God, or it's another word for,
Her name means Lion of God.
yeah, and but it's not made with that reference in the Bible. So if neither is Archangel Michael, so if these angels are real, how come they're not written about in the most holy book of holy books?
You asked that of the person who wrote it. They're all man that wrote it.
No, I'm asking you as an angel.
Oh, as an angel, because they're saying, and Michael's saying that it's not important. Because we know we know who we are. We do the work, and those who know us, we will come to them.
But if they're saying, and if they're claiming to be part of the army of the God who is the creator, who is created by the creator, I guess, and who is created by the ancient ones in the universe. Wouldn't they want this to be known? Wouldn't they want the people of the world to know that there's more to this mortal existence than what we're led to believe? Something's not
Well,
right here. Something is wrong.
there's been, think about how many hundreds of years that people have been passing down from generation to generation, the history of, and the Bible, reading the Bible, the history. How do we know that it actually happened?
There's, that's a very good point. How do we know that?
That any of it happened, really?
How do we know that angels are real then?
Yeah. Then you'd have to go to the other side,
What other side? Because
into the
what
light.
if went well, if we can't have it both ways here. It's either what we're talking about today is nothing else but fabricated fiction, or it's real.
It's real. I've been there. I know people. I know that people have seen Michael, the Archangel. I know that people have seen Gabriel.
Right.
I know people have seen Raphael. And I know that people have seen Ariel. I actually have the ability to send Ariel to help someone. I have a friend that lives in England, and her husband had died while she was in the hospital having surgery. He died unexpectedly at 57 years old,
Mm-hmm.
of a major heart attack.
Oh, God bless him.
And she called me and she says, Can you send Ariel? Can you have her bring John, her husband, to me? And I said, I will send her. And that night, she was visited by Ariel, and Ariel brought John. And she's seen Ariel, and she said, if I didn't know she was a good angel, then she would scare the hell out of me.
But
I said, she's a
once again,
warrior.
the power of belief,
Hmm.
the belief in if somebody believes something so strong,
Right.
we know
Faith.
that they can imagine it, that it can be part of their reality for a moment or two.
Yeah, unless you have more than one person that sees it at the same time, which has happened. Then you have like mass hysteria or something they'll call it. Mass delusion. I don't know. Whatever. I just know that what I do
Hmm.
is real, and the people who benefit from it, when the demon is removed
Hmm.
and they have peace again, then I call that reality.
So whether it's the placebo effect or not, as long as it works, it works.
Yeah, I've seen it happen even with people that doubt. It can't be that simple. And but then they're no longer being attacked. They're no longer hearing the demons growl at them. They're
Hmm.
no longer being, having nightmares, and their families, things aren't flying off the walls and stuff like that. It's like it is what it is. I just know that I can do it, and I have faith in what I can do, and I'm not afraid of them because
Right.
I know they can kill a person. I was in on a case where my friend who's the minister came with me and his wife, and I knew there was a demon upstairs. So we're climbing the stairs, and the demon tried to shove the wife down the stairs. If she hadn't been holding on to the rail, she would have fell all the way down the stairs. And then it reached into the minister's chest and squeezed his heart. He felt like he was having a heart attack. So I know what they can do.
What about all these anti-demonic remedies that are sold? Like holy water, crucifixes, like.
Yeah, well, holy water, if it's blessed, it will, and anything that's blessed
Mhm.
will ward them off. Okay, and then maybe they'll get tired of it and move on.
Okay, but if holy water, which is blessed by a priest,
Hmm.
will ward them off, why doesn't God bless the oceans and get rid of them in time. Just go, scram. Look, I've made the oceans into holy water. You can't be around here anymore.
Well, I'll have to ask him that next time I talk to him.
The
I don't.
comments.
I don't think it's as simple as that. I mean, this. It's
Well,
got to.
if
For some reason, it's more complex.
if a real priest can bless water and make it into holy water, couldn't God, the Creator?
Sure.
Well, this is why I have a hard time understanding why.
It's all about faith. If you have faith in a pencil, and you believe that pencil is going to make you a king, then it's all about achieving that.
So is faith mind over matter?
I think a lot of it is mind over matter.
So if faith is mind over matter, why do we need faith?
We need to have something to believe in, something to focus on, something to give us the will to survive, or the will to get something done, or the will to get better.
But do we need something that doesn't exist in order to accomplish that?
If it exists within you, then it exists.
So once again, we're looking at the placebo effect of mind over matter.
You could say that, and from a scientific point of view, I just,
Yeah.
as doing this for 50 years,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I've seen a lot of things that would scare the hell out of you.
How many, you say 50 years you've been doing this, and that is quite some time, and hats off to you for the people that you've been able to help. What happens the day that Joan Lundgren is called by the angels to be with him on a full-time basis? Who takes your place?
That's a good question. But I've seen my death. So I've got a ways to go. 93. I've seen my death, so I'm not worried about it. I'll be doing this till the day I die.
Who takes your place?
There is another that will come.
Is it possible that Satan or the negative or the evil entities could beat you to the punch?
Nah. They're too scared of me. I have a friend who has the Archangel Ariel within him. And Ariel and Lucifer were friends long before the war between heaven and hell. And they're still friends even to this day, because Lucifer said he fought for what he believed in. And I'll never fault him for that. And so from time to time, he goes and visits Ariel. And the last time he was there, my friend asked Lucifer, what do you think of, my friend calls me Auntie Ariel. He says, what do you think of Auntie Ariel? And Lucifer replied, respect the assassin.
Respect the assassin. Pretty heavy words.
Yeah. It's like I said, he has that respect for, the Legion and for God and Jesus. There is that respect there. And so do the older demons. But the younger ones have no respect for anybody, and neither did the ancient ones.
That time has come, June, when we must say so long. But X Zone Nation, if you'd like to find out more about our guest this hour, her name is June Lundgren, and she is a lady who does negative entity identification and removal, also known as demonic entities. And if you'd like to find out more about her, visit her website at mysticconnections.org. June,
And I have my bio coming out next month.
All right, you take care of yourself. Thanks very much for sharing with us. And XO Nation will be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the XO from our broadcast center and studios in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. I've got to tell you, XO Nation, on a scale of 1 to 6, let's go a scale of 1 to 100. I'll rate this one as 1 out of 100. Just don't buy it. How can anyone claim to be an angel? Like, that's kind of pushing it. And let me see what else was there. There's God isn't God, but God was created by a creator who was created by the ancients in the universe, but we don't know anything about them. And then Angel Ariel does not appear anywhere in the Bible. I'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our broadcast center in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, on the CanCom Broadcast Network, streaming on classic1220.ca.
Late night signals whisper through the sky.